Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I'm here relatively early on Thursday morning for a brand new show. And this one is probably the show that I've been anticipating the most out of this current season. And it's Carole and Tuesday. I'm not sure if it's Carol or Carole, but it's got an E at the end, so I'm gonna go with Carole-ish. Yeah. This is a Bones show. Shinichiro Watanabe is co-directing. I don't think he needs much of an introduction. And he's co-directing alongside Motonobu Hori, who has episode director, animation director, and key animation credits on many, many things, including, most notably, I think, Beck, because this has sold itself as a music show, or at least something with music elements, and Beck is a pretty big name, pretty popular music show. So his work on that is probably something that maybe helped get him this job. Um, Given that there are two directors and that Shinichiro Watanabe is the original creator of this original anime, it's unclear how much actual directing Watanabe is going to be doing in this show. It's just unclear. I'm sure that Hori Motonobu is entirely competent, but Watanabe is the big selling name attached to this feature. That said, there are a lot of people attached to this feature that have some interesting backgrounds. So let's dive into it and see if we can get an idea of what kind of team has been assembled to make this thing happen. The script is by one Aya Watanabe, who is apparently best known for writing TV dramas. There is no info that I can find anywhere on whether she is related to, married to, sister with, whatever, Shinichiro Watanabe. No clue. If you know, let me know. I would like to know. So thanks. So she wrote the script. There is a color designer, which is not always the case. There's a color designer named Yukiko Kakita who did color design on some shows, specifically Trigger Productions, which I absolutely love the color design of, including Kill la Kill, Panty and Stocking, and the upcoming Trigger film Promare, which from the PVs looks like it's very pretty. So that's cool. The art director, Ryo Kono, also has some legendary work in his backstory, including art direction on Space Dandy, both seasons of Mob Psycho, assistant art direction on Metropolis, the film, and background art on Perfect Blue and X 1999. Those are some big titles, including a number of feature films that are, for anime, blockbuster successes. So that's pretty cool. There's also a director of photography, another role that doesn't always pop up, who is named Masataka Ikegami, and who shares the same role on Hero Academia and Kekai Sensen, which I frankly think is gorgeous. I don't know how much of the art style and visual feel of Kekai Sensen is where'd your name go? Is Ikegami's work, but that's pretty cool. The original character designs are by Eisaku Kubonochi, a mangaka whose work I am just not familiar with, and another character design credit goes to Tsunemori Saito, who worked with Watanabe as a key animator on Bebop, designed the characters for Sword of the Stranger and Zetsuen no Tempest, and some other stuff. The editor, Kumiko Sakamoto, also edited Noragami Arigato, Hiroaka, and some other stuff. So there are some people who are pulled from Frequent Bone staff. There are some people who are pulled from Trigger staff, or potentially just they're working freelance. I don't know. And there are some big legacy names in, especially Watanabe, who, if you don't know, mid Bebop. He's the guy who everyone credits for Bebop, which is quite possibly one of the most well-regarded anime of all time. I wouldn't say best or anything like that, but it frequently appears at tops of lists. Lots of people like Bebop and consider it pretty darn good. So all in all, we've got a star-studded staff with some name recognition, especially from Watanabe's side, creating an original anime with an interesting sort of future sci-fi music blended premise, or at least selling point and promo, produced by one of the most consistent studios in the business, Bones. So all of this means hopes are fucking high. But there are potential downsides and there are potential pitfalls in creating a production like this. It's possible, I don't think it's likely given who's on the production committee, but it's possible that this is a somewhat cynical cash grab. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like a passion project, but that in and of itself is a selling point. That in and of itself is something which you would want to market. This is a passion project by that guy who made this other passion project that everybody loved. Don't you want to see it? So this is me trying to keep my anticipation down a little bit. It's possible. I don't think it's the case, but it's possible that this is a cynical cash grab. And I just want to get that out there and mention it before we get into the episode and see where this falls and what I think about it. So, that took a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. I feel like I wanted to give this show some due diligence and really look into what was going on behind the scenes, because it does have the potential to be that really awesome passion project by a great studio with an amazing staff that just knocks it out of the park. I guess the only way to find out is to get into it. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got the episode up. I am using the PAS subs, the 720p version that they have currently available up on Nya. If you don't know what that means, there's a video on my channel somewhere called How to Torrent Anime or something like that. You can go find that, and I talk at exceedingly great length about the process of acquiring Animu. But anyway, it's been sub bypass. It's a 720p version because that's the actual, like, that's what came out of, I think, Netflix Japan. And so upscaling it to 1080 would just look bad. So this is what we want to use, and that's what I'm going to use. There will be multiple versions of this reaction video. You can find picture-in-picture versions with the video up over here, in the description down over there, and a timer-based version on YouTube, which will have a discussion at the end, any frame-by-frames or run-through or whatever at the end, and a beep-beep timer at the beginning, which will go boop, 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 beep, and on the beep in the green light, that's the same frame that the video starts playing on my screen. So if you're playing along with your own version, that's probably when you want to hit the button. Either version works perfectly. Use whichever one you want. Come back here for the discussion on YouTube if you want to. Yeah, let's get into Carole and Tuesday. Episode 1. The beep beep timer that I mentioned will go here. Performance. History of Mars. Right, so we're set on Mars in this like future sci-fi set. Oh. Okay. Interesting framing device. So we know from the outset that they're going to get up on that stage and perform. And it'll be magical. So now we need to meet the characters and see how they got there. So this is more of a how they got their story. Oh, sneaking out. Wow. Okay, if you don't know, I'm currently watching like everything that's airing right now. And so I've become just like normalized to terrible anime backgrounds, and this has great backgrounds, at least comparatively. Props to background art guy. She has a super suitcase. You just walk away. Struggling, being passed by her suitcase. Brilliant. We immediately have a connection with the character. I love it. Oh no. Oh no. Does it have solar panels? Oh no, now it's worse. True colors. Right now, the color design is hitting a happy medium between muted and vibrant. Feels very, very nice. Oh. So this is future reality. Oh, she's super cute. I have a thing for girls with freckles. Sleeping with the goats. The way she struggles with a lot of things makes her feel very small in a very big world. I like it. Kire is pretty. Fuck off, owl alarm. That's pretty early, but you're like, yes, hydrate right after you wake up. Always. It's so useful. Okay. Pineapple head. Doing a lot to show off some of the cool tech. It's neat. Wow. Whoa, whoa. Yo. So it's LA-ish. Or New York. So she's gonna run into somebody who's currently not tough enough. But Blondie probably has a little bit more toughness than she's gonna assume at first. You're probably just a spoiled rich brat, right? Ah, okay. Oh shit, customer rightness. Fuck that. uh Bruh. Oh my god. Instantly. Oh, the joys of working retail or fast food or service. That's a lot of goop. Is that supposed to be cheese? Why'd they freak out? Too much goop? I don't get it. Oh! Oh! I hope that thing has a tracker in it. Nobody cares. You're alone in the wide, wide world. Wow, that was interesting. Who's this? This isn't... Is this the girl who was working at the place? Thanks, manager. No, it's a different girl. Okay. Run into each other at the bridge. See somebody. Oh, are they just gonna spontaneously start jamming? Oh, that would be cool. She's Tuesday. Okay. But you have to play anyway. Slowly fade out the crowd noise. I heard all of the songs will be in English. Oh, someone else pursuing their dreams. Gibson. Oh, I got chills. All right. Carole. Okay. Okay. Oh, so it's oh. Famous Angela. Wonder what that subplot is going to come to. Nope, 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 nope. No, thank you. That's a woman? Oh. 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 See how that goes? This is T. Hmm. But she doesn't have autonomy. Wants to achieve her dreams. Hmm. Older brother. So we've got two mamas, and both of them are negative forces. Yeah. Let's talk earnestly, shall we? No. Ah. Believable tack all the way through. AI singers. You must become a puppet for the system. She's already been chewed up and accepted it. She just radiates like this Alice in Wonderland sort of innocence. It's great. Orphan. Alarm clock? Yep. The thing that was being advertised by Angela. Links and links and links. It's all woven together. Nice. It's like a treasure chest. So will he become their manager / producer type person? The grumpy guy with a history in the industry. Sort of the boxing coach type character. Maybe. Cyndi Lauper, right? Ah. You were touched, so you wanted to touch people. It wasn't the path laid out for you. Yeah. Let's You mean like a guitarist? That's an important line. There's always something missing in my life. Lyrics, lyrics, lyrics. Yeah, perfect. Let's go and find it together. Wow. Where is this? Timestamp. Pencil. Chills again. Wow. That's legitimately Instagram, and they called it by name. The fist bump that changed the world. It's not going to be that easy, but all right. He's the narrator. All right. Is there an OP? I wonder if this is the OP or the ED. Well, this is the best episode 1 I've seen so far this season. And I've seen quite a lot of them now. I love it. I love this first episode, and it's promising. Um, Super promising. On just about every level, I think. Which makes it kind of hard to figure out where to start, because it's all good, and it's complicated. It's the narrative is intertwined. There's this subplot going on with Angela, also joining the music industry at the same time that Carole and Tuesday are meeting. Um, there's this world that's being constructed, the social aspects of that world and the society in which they live, the individual intrigue around each character, their family or lack thereof, and what they do with their time. This promise that Mr. Drunk, former music producer guy, is going to end up meeting with them. The story, they choose to tell us from the outset that success is coming. That this isn't the story of will they, won't they make it to a grand stage. It's the story of how they get there. And that's interesting because it means that we're not framing this story as like the kind of underdog tale where we're not sure of the outcome. Instead, we're the focus of the story isn't on yay, we're going to achieve the goals. That's inevitable. We know from the outset that they're going to get there. The story is instead who they are and how they change each other in order to get there. And that's really good because a show like this is built on the bedrock of the relationship between the two main characters. More than anything else, more than the world, more than anything else, it's whether the two characters have chemistry and whether their relationship is interesting and believable, and what conflicts they have to overcome in order to get to their goal. That's really cool. It's actually kind of like I guess it's not. I was going to say that it reminds me to an extent of the early opening lines of Hiroaka. This is the story of how I became the greatest hero. We know that Deku will make it there and become the greatest hero. We just don't know how. We know that there's not a ton of tension over whether that's going to happen. In this case, there's not a ton of tension over whether Carole and Tuesday will become a band or whether they'll stick together long enough to make it. It's going to happen. The interesting part is the journey, and that's an interesting framing for the entire show. So we as the audience are waiting for them to collide. We're waiting for them to write their first song together. We're waiting for all of these things, and then the show goes and methodically delivers on all of them in a really satisfying way, at least even in just this first episode, which doesn't have to be necessarily satisfying those concerns. Like, it still does. It still delivers on that. And there's something really interesting about the way that they start interacting. You could say that it's almost too fast. It's almost too quick that they become comfortable with each other. But at the same time, it works. And have you ever had that experience where you're at like a party or a gathering or something, and you start talking to somebody, and suddenly you realize that the two of you have like you click. You think about things in similar enough ways that you can almost immediately discuss whatever and have fun with the discussion. That's something that's rare but real, and that's what they build here. They build up each character individually, and then after their collision and running away from the cops together, introducing themselves, it doesn't feel strange for Carole to invite Tuesday over to her home. It feels natural. It feels like the progression is straightforward and right. And as they discuss their pasts and stuff, it's not flippant, but each of them is entirely willing to share, and there's this sort of lovely rapport of instant friendship between them. And again, you could criticize this. You could say that this feels contrived, but I don't think it does. You could say that maybe it happens too fast and it seems like a plot device, but I don't think it does. I didn't get that impression. I found their interactions fascinating and sweet. I didn't think about them as like, this is a writer writing these characters. I thought about them as people, and that's the goal, right? That's what everybody who's creating a character aims for, whether they're writing it in a novel or a film or an anime. It doesn't really matter. You want to think about the character as a real entity, not as the thoughts of whoever's making it, and that's kind of cool. Something else that's really interesting about this show is the picture of society that it gives us. So we're informed that this is future reality, right? I don't know exactly how far future it is. I'd say probably like 100 years or so, maybe more, maybe less. But not much has changed, and that's what's interesting here. There's all of this fantastic tech, and it's used judiciously early in the episode to, well, because it's cool. It's neat, right? Like we love ideas of future tech. Future tech is cool. It's like, yeah, I want a foldy scooter thing that looks really awesome and lets me breeze around town. I guess we kind of have those, right? But I want a pet that's also my alarm clock and is a robot owl. That's pretty cool. I want a suitcase that wheels itself around. That's pretty cool. Like all of these little bits of future tech are interesting and intriguing, and they build up the world. But even with all of these examples of future tech, things haven't changed much. We could think that a society like this that is so technologically advanced has terraformed Mars. There's no evidence of like there being domes or bubbles or anything like that. It seems like they have effectively terraformed the planet. Like there's water. There's water. um, so we would think that a society like this that has such advanced understanding of technology, the things needed to do to change a planet into a living space for humans, would be able to feed, house, clothe, educate everything, everyone without much problem. But that doesn't seem to be the case. There seems to be there. I mean, Carole works a minimum wage job as bringing burgers and coffee to customers who don't give a shit about her. I don't remember her name, but the actress girl who's trying to become a singer, she works pretty bad advertising gigs. And we'll look at some of the advertisements because I think that's probably a carefully positioned like part of this story. Because this girl who has this disillusioned picture of the entertainment industry is a stark contrast to the two mains who have this joyous picture of it as like a road for their success, a way to reach their dreams. While this other girl may have had that at some point, but she's lost that entirely. It's possible that their joy and motivation will rub off on her and cause her to actually like take things more seriously. But it's such an open-ended plot thread that we don't know. But it's interesting that in what could be a post-scarcity society, scarcity is still abundant. That's a weird phrase, a weird way to put it, but I think it makes sense. Like Tuesday appears to come from an extremely wealthy family. She's got all these things. She's got this motorized suitcase and stuff, big house. Her mom is dressed like a businesswoman. Her older brother is dressed like a wealthy young man. There's an air of privilege to them, and Tuesday, I'm sorry, and Carole is very much not that. She lives in what, the landlord's loft, something like that. Like mediocre living space, but it's pretty big, which is nice. And she works a pretty minimum wage job. There's always something missing in her life, right? And then they decide to go and find that missing thing from with each other. There's a really clear, and I would call it intentional, like visual language parallel between Tuesday and Alice in Wonderland, specifically Alice, who is sort of the archetypal small girl in a big world type of character. And it's especially noticeable in the ED, where she's actually wearing a frilly blue dress. She is like a carbon copy of Alice, in a lot of ways. The blonde blue eyes. She's very very cute. Freckles, very innocent. She radiates innocence. I think this is a really like completely intentional to do this. And then Tuesday is, I'm sorry, I keep mixing them up. Carole is completely different. She's got like this sort of spunky hair. She wears brighter colors and is more like comfortable wearing what she wants. She's got her own style. She's been living on her own for a long time. And so these two very different characters, this one who's very sheltered and the one who's the opposite, have run into each other, and there's infinite potential for what they can learn from each other and what experiences they can go through. That's really cool. That's kind of fascinating. The catalyst for both of them is seeking something, and both of them have similar inspirations for why they want to be musicians. But mostly they're looking for something akin to meaning or purpose. And I think that's really good. That's a great way to set up your characters, because they can find that in every experience and in every episode. It doesn't have to be something that they answer at the end. It's an ongoing journey, an ongoing quest and question. That's fantastic. Production wise, it's pretty damn gorgeous. Okay, as I said, I'm going through and I'm watching every episode 1 of everything this season. There's a lot of stuff that looks like crap. This doesn't look like crap. This looks really good comparatively. The guy who's doing background art, what was your name? I want to find your name to give you credit directly. Background art was by or art director is Ryo Kono. Okay, I actually don't know who did background art. In any case, good job. Same with color design. I think it hits this really happy medium between believable and realistic and attractive. Every shot in this episode is pretty attractive. Even when they're using CG, like this train, or later we'll look at the guitar, which I timestamped at 1720. We'll look at it now at 1722. Like it all looks good and blends well. Now I want to frame by frame this guitar sequence in particular, because we have a 2D character holding a 3D object and moving it, and it works. So where's the first scene of it where she's moving around quite a bit? Yeah. That's really difficult, as far as I know. Like, they had to animate her not only interacting with a 3D object, but holding it in such a way that part of her is in front of it and part of her is behind it. So, like, there are multiple layers of 2D animation going on here. There have to be, in order to make this work. and they had to nail the perspective of her arm going over the guitar that's slightly too big for her, and the somewhat awkward way that she's holding it. And it looks acceptable. It looks good. So there are a couple of other interesting things going on here. One of them is the branding. So most of the time, if you're creating a piece of entertainment media, there's just about no way that you can use copyrighted brands in your stuff. That's why we see like Schmoogle or Chitter or whatever. But we've got 3, as far as I know, that I recognize off the bat. We've got 3 recognizable and fairly major brands in this show. We've got Nord, who makes red synthesizers, like the one that Carole uses. We've got Gibson, who's of course a prominent guitar manufacturer, and we've got Instagram, which I believe is owned by Twitter. All of them are branded and in the forefront. There's care shown to ensure that the Gibson logo, I think in the first scenes we see of Tuesday with her guitar case almost, or at least when she's in the station, there's care shown to show the logo. You know, it's a Gibson. You can't remove that from this scene. It's a Gibson. Carole specifically mentions, "Oh, it's a Gibson. Can I see it?" This is product placement. This is sponsorship. Is that a bad thing? Hell no. Not if it means that we get production quality like this. That's great. Awesome. Also, none of the products are bad products, right? They all do what's intended. Gibson makes pretty good guitars. Nord makes, from what I've heard, great synthesizers. Instagram is Instagram. Cool. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. This is a perfect, there's a stark contrast between our 2 leads and opposites attract kind of narrative. There's nothing here that feels forced or pandering. It all feels like it flows naturally and is just going to tell the story that's intended. And that is a breath of fresh air. Truly. It's so great. So I'm kind of interested in this character. The girl who's disillusioned with the entertainment industry and wants to become a musician despite that, or maybe because of it. I think where does it happen? Okay, right here. So we start to see there. Much of the future, but every step you take will build it. Stop looking back. You can't change the past. You might not expect much. Milwaukee's construction, Stardust Plaza. Close your focus? Choose your focus? I don't know. Generic-y positive-y messages. So this appears to have been a live commercial, like live broadcast of her saying this, which is kind of weird. Unless what we did was we just jumped back in time to whenever they were filming this commercial. Regardless, we go in a kind of a fascinating scene. We jump through the screen to this location, which is something that I don't know if I've ever seen before, and is really creative and works. And that's contrasted. Then we get the golden hour lit. Also, the lighting in this show has been gorgeous. It's been really pretty. Yeah, we got these open bodies of water on Mars. That's a huge technological challenge. immense technological challenge. Now, is her synthesizer CG? Because when I saw this scene, I wasn't sure, and I'm still not, honestly. Also, okay, I'm not positive, but I'm gonna guess, just from the walk cycles, that these are CG crowds people. And they've done something really interesting, which is to light them all in shadow, so that they're less obviously CG crowds people. Which is why I'm not even sure. Just from the walk cycle specifically of this guy, it looks like a CG walk cycle. I don't know. Looks really good. God, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yes, this is a wealthy house. For sure. I don't know what to think about this character. Who's voicing this character? I feel like it's a man. Carole and Tuesday, characters and staff. Not listed. Yet. Darn. Okay. Now, who's voicing Carole and who's voicing Tuesday? Carole is voiced by Miyuri Shimabukuro. Ooh. I don't recognize from anything. Okay. And Tuesday is voiced by Kana Ichinose, a supporting role in Boogie Pop. She's Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx. And she'll be playing the apparently main girl from Dr. Stone. Oh, and she's playing the main girl from Fairy Gone at the exact same time. And a supporting character in Hitori Bochi. Oh. Okay. Cool. Today I learned. I don't know how to feel about this character. She's very dislikable. She's got such sass. It's great. This guy's character design is fantastic, and the way that his little hair bit flops around to accentuate his points is great. He's got the digi glasses. See, like, that's cool tech. It's neat. And it's believable. Yay! He's very pale and washed out. Sort of, I mean, it's the color of his glasses, but he's all yellowy, you know? This is a guy who doesn't get outside much. There are all these little bits and pieces, like this moment when she unclicks the latches on the guitar case, makes it feel like a treasure chest, makes it feel like a glorious thing awaits inside. Another product placement logo, a beautiful guitar. Okay, so again, off of the society thing, there's no need for a bartender, right? It's just not necessary. There's an AI bartender with robot arms that can serve your drinks perfectly. But there's still a button. Oops. There's still a button for call the bartender in case you need some human support. Because that's half the bartender's job, right? So that's interesting. It seems like there's like a weird contradiction in this world where AI are seemingly able to do just about anything. From the way that the girl who's disillusioned with the industry reacts when her mother or her agent or whatever, who calls herself her mama, suggests that she'll punish her by making her managers AIs. So maybe there's not as much nuance in an AI doing certain jobs. Maybe there's still room for human employment, but it seems like AIs or robots can take over almost everything. There's no reason for Carole, for example, to be serving burgers that appear to be automatically made to customers, right? Like it just splat glop all over the burger, right? So there's no need for that. You could have an AI server go and do that. It's probably just cheaper to pay her. But yeah, there's this weird semi contradiction where it's like robots can do anything, but people still need employment. So that's kind of weird, and I think that actually, well, it's super relevant to today's society as automation grows and is more efficient at doing the jobs that lots of humans do than humans are. It's more efficient and better at them, and it doesn't complain, and it doesn't need breaks or lunches or health insurance or whatever, right? It's a lot more effective. And we as a society have a lot of challenges to deal with in order to get that going. And there's already huge backlash against automation, like robots stealing our jobs type stuff. So, one thing that this show could do is depict art and creativity as the natural consequence of a society that no longer needs to employ people in rote menial labor. Um, Specifically Carol's plot thread, right? Because it seems like Tuesday had everything she ever wanted, right? That's what her mother tells her. So the two different characters have two similar reasons for getting into music, but their actual motivations differ immensely. Uh, Tuesday is on a personal journey, right? She's trying to reach some goal and fulfill herself. As somebody who already has everything provided for her, where Carole is like, she's scraping by, right? She's working hard and she has this dream of success. So they're coming at it from very different angles, but both of them are super relevant to this kind of society, because if we reach a post-scarcity society, the people who are provided for entirely have to find something worthwhile to do with their time, because humans waste away without purpose. And the people who maybe aren't wealthy and have everything provided for them still need to find a way to move in society, right? An ability to move up existing hierarchical structures. So this sets up like a really interesting potential social commentary and potential like tentative answer to give to the people watching, to the viewers, that says, well, if you can't find work because you're not as efficient as a robot, what about creating something? What about finding purpose? What about finding what's missing in something you care about, something you love? I think that's probably going to be a core message of the show. I could be totally wrong. It could be ignored from here on out, but it's been so carefully set up that I think it has to be. Fascinating. Well, I'm gonna give Carole and Tuesday episode 1 my episode 1 of the season award tentatively. There are still some things that I haven't watched, so there's the possibility that something else will sweep me off my feet. But for now, I think this is my favorite episode 1 of the season so far, and I'm definitely gonna be sticking with it to see where it goes and what it explores and what it has to say. At the beginning, I said that well, this is a star-studded cast, a dream team, if you will, but there is a chance that that falls apart under production pressure, and just need to market. I don't think it has. I think this is a gem of a production, and I really liked it. With that, I'm gonna wrap it up. So let's do chill stuff, because I haven't been doing it recently, and that's not good. If you like this, like it. If you're not subbed and you want more, maybe do that. And if you are subbed and you're not getting my videos, maybe the bell can help you. Also, if you really like this content and want to support this guy who makes it, you can head over to patreon.com/Teeaboo to throw me a couple of bucks and get a bunch of stuff like early access to my weekly content that isn't currently airing, and access to the Discord to chat about stuff, and the ability to vote in polls whenever I have a slot open to see what I want end up watching next. Poll-wise, slots are there are a bunch of slots open, but there's also this new season, and I'm not sure how everything's going to shake out yet. So there will probably be some point in the next few weeks where I'll come out with like 3 polls in a day and just be like, fill my slots. Wait, that sounds weird. But in any case, I've been Teeaboo. This has been Carole and Tuesday, episode 1. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much or more than I have. I hope you'll leave comments down below, talking about stuff that you found interesting about it, or, you know, commenting on any of the stuff that I've said, or expanding on it, or whatever. Yeah, leave thoughts in the comments. I'd love to see them, read them, chat back with you. And I'll hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.